How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffle Rowlet, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I am bringing you a video that I actually think you guys will really enjoy. Now, if you're a Pokemon fan, which I assume most of you, if not every single one of you that are watching my videos right now are, then this is a game today that I want to cover, which I think you guys will enjoy. So I was hit up by a few people, and then also by the people who are making this game, which are known as Mailloux Studios. I was hit up by these guys, and they wanted me to talk about their upcoming game, Kindred Fates. Now, Kindred Fates is a monster capturing open world type game, which I think you guys will actually really enjoy. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's actually talk about this, because genuinely, I think this looks awesome, and I think this is where the monster capturing genre should be going. Like, honestly, this looks insane. So, we're going to talk about what the game is, just the general concepts behind it, all that sort of stuff. And I'll actually also have exclusive information, which I will share with you guys about the game. And then at the end, I'm going to do a little bit of speculating about what my thoughts are on the game and that sort of stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are ready, if you are excited, drop a like down below. Let's start talking about Kindred Fates. So, ladies and gentlemen, there was the announcement trailer for the game, the trailer that kind of shows off a lot of the stuff that's going to be within the game, and I thought I'd show it to you guys in this video, so you guys can see kind of what it's going to be like. So we're going to actually break down the trailer in a moment, but before we do that, I want to kind of explain what this game is all about. What is the deal with Kindred Fates? What's the game? Well, as described by the guys over at Mailloux themselves, Kindred Fates is a third-person action combat open-world RPG. Yes, an open-world RPG that is aiming to evolve, or looking to evolve, the monster battle genre. It aims to bring what many have been asking for in the past decades, which is me. I am one of those, okay? I love open world games. I play a lot of, like, survival type games, you know, like Rust, or Unturned, or DayZ. I used to play a lot of that sort of stuff, and those games are always open world, and it's more fun when you can explore that. And imagine if you could do that, or like the Breath of the Wild type, you know, Breath of the Wild type of game, but like, if you could just find monsters that you could capture, kind of like what you do in Pokemon, right? It's the same kind of concept there, and I love that. So, it aims to bring what I've been looking for in the past decades. Now, players will experience calculated combat, discover a beautiful, expansive world, and grow close to a variety of Kinfolk. Now, Kindred Fate looks to challenge a wide range of gamers with lighthearted exploring and gathering to tactical online battling, inspired by classics like Dark Souls, Pokemon, Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Skyrim. Yes, so they're basing this stuff around some of the best parts about, like, the whatchamacallit, like, you know, like the best part of gaming, right? Like, you got Pokemon, a little bit of Dark Souls in there, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, right? It's a perfect kind of mixture, and that's what makes me excited for this game. So if you guys did see the trailer right now, if you watched the video, if you've been watching the video so far, the game looks actually pretty incredible as well. I mean, for a studio that's essentially an indie studio, they're really doing great work, and they're making some awesome Pokemon. So I thought we'd take a look at some of the actual, like, you know, the kind of their version of Pokemon within the game, right? Which are Kinfolk, and I thought we'd take a look at them and actually see what they will look like and what the deal is with these creatures. So let's get started with that. So ladies and gentlemen, let's have ourselves a look at some of the actual concept art. Now I apologize if my camera is a little bit laggy or lags out, I do apologize. For some reason my PC is having a little bit of a hiccup. But ladies and gentlemen, let's look at this right here. So basically what we have in front of us right now, ladies and gentlemen, is the branching evolutions concept art. So they're basically telling us that every kinfolk in Kindred Fates has a tree of branching evolutions. Now this to me sounds fantastic. Now the way that they do this is either by leveling up or having different abilities or different kind of methods, right? But every single kinfolk has branching evolutions, which to me sounds fantastic, and you can see it like right here. You can see how that kind of works, because my favorite creature, which is I think Amber, I think is the name is, or Auburn, which is the bottom one right here. You can see the little bear. It basically can evolve in two different things, right? It can evolve into the wolf-looking creature on the left side, which you can see in the trailer that you can mount on, which, by the way, mounting a kinfolk is, by the way, it sounds wrong when I say it, but basically, the way that it works in this game is that if a creature is large enough and it looks like it should be able to be, like, in some way you can, like, ride on top of it or fly on top of it, it actually will be doable, right? They basically told me that, hey, if, you know, we're aiming to make it so that if it is possible, if it looks like it's possible to, you know, ride on this creature, then you'll be able to, like, you know, jump on and ride on it and fly on it, whatever you want to do, it's gonna be possible. And right here, actually, that, like, sounds to me fantastic. And on top of that, having branching evolutions just sounds epic in just simple terms. Like, that just sounds epic to me. Like, there's no way to, like, you know, twist around it. And wow, I am lagging out right now, which I apologize about, but overall, really big fan of like all this. It just sounds freaking epic and it looks like it's gonna be great. Now next up we actually have a concept art for Auburn. Now Auburn is just one of the most adorable things ever. It's my favorite creature out of all of these in here, like out of all the kinfolk, is definitely my favorite, and it looks like it's going to be freaking awesome to use. Then there's also another smaller creature, a little critter, which is known as a corn, which is a little acorn with a mouth and, you know, like fists. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like Seedot or something like that from Pokemon, and overall a really cool concept as well. Really cool looking Pokemon, sorry, kinfolk. Jeez, I'm gonna have to like, I'm gonna struggle with that. I did that with like another game. I also struggled like every time I was trying to say the name of their creatures, I ended up saying Pokemon, which I apologize about. But yeah, so kinfolk. Here's actually the evolution, which is called Ambir, which is the evolution for Auburn, which to me is my favorite. I cannot wait to have this thing in the game. I cannot wait to use it. It's going to be freaking awesome. And I actually have a little bit of a snippet that I'm going to show you guys right here. A little bit of a snippet of like when you encounter this creature out in the wild and what that looks like. So here you go. Have a look. So, as you guys can see in that footage, it honestly looks freaking menacing as it walks around, and I cannot wait to see like how it's going to look with all the other kinfolk in the game. It's going to be freaking awesome. So yeah, definitely cool looking in my opinion. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have something else, which is the concept art for the female protagonist. So as you can see, honestly, it looks freaking awesome. A lot more adult, which is something I do appreciate far more than what Pokemon does, which is to keep the characters very much like kind of like young and, you know, keeps you like as a, at most a teenager, right, in the games, or usually they make you into a kid, which is never really fun, because if you're an adult and you want to play one of these monster capturing games, it feels a little bit odd, right? So I do appreciate this game going for a more adult type style and theme, which I really, really like. And as you can see here in the concept, the character looks freaking awesome. I mean, it looks really, really awesome. Kind of gives me a bit of like a like Arctic vibe, not like Antarctic, but like a kind of a, you know, a little bit of snowy vibe, which I do appreciate and like I do like, because that reminds me a little bit of like Generation 4 Pokemon, which is, you know, Sinnoh, which is colder, and I do like that. So that's one of the things. Next up we have one of the concept arts here for the bird, the big old birdie, which you saw in the trailer, which actually has double wings. Overall, I think it looks cool and awesome. Next up we have a dragon concept, which I don't think we get to see this one in the trailer, but looks pretty interesting. I cannot wait to see what this is going to turn out like. I mean, I'm intrigued by its design. I don't think it's like some sort of legendary or something like that, but overall, cool looking, if I'm gonna be honest. And here we have the branched evolution for, oh god, I always forget the names here, Auburn. So this is the branched evolution for Auburn, which is the kind of wolf one, which you can branch into instead of like Embern, which is the, you know, or Embeer, sorry, which is the, you know, big bear one, which is different, right? Which then can branch into two other evolutions, right? This is one that just sticks with it. So if you go for this evolution, that's it. It doesn't go any further. And I actually have, or you can check out on their channel as well, and I might show some footage here in the background now, but there's actually, like, they did a little bit of a cool kind of introduction for this Pokemon, or sorry, for this Kinfolk, which is known as Kynite. So Kynite is its name. It's one that you can actually mount on top of and you can ride on, which actually you can see in the trailer. Looks freaking epic and awesome. I really, really like it. So big fan of this one. Looks epic. Now, next up, we actually have how kind of the typings will work. So I actually have it like over here, but it's kind of hard to tell because for some reason my software actually makes it look smaller than it actually is, but you actually see all the typings, and I think I have a hard time seeing like what some of them are, but of course, you know, we can see water, grass, you know, rock and fire and that sort of stuff, you know, steel, I guess, and that sort of stuff, but like they have some unique typings, and also there's like a middle one, which I, again, I can't seem to be able to see it because for some reason my image is being turned into like a weird kind of like shape, so for some reason I can't even see that, which is a little bit frustrating, but not much I can really do about that, to be frankly honest. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, so that's that. Next up, we have a concept art for the male character, which again, more adult looking, you know, it doesn't look like it's some sort of, you know, teenager or something like that. It looks way more adult, way cooler, and I do like the concept again. You actually see this character within the game, in the gameplay. Looks freaking sick. Love it. Next up, we have actually my, like, just... I love this thing because this is actually a concept we had for a fan game I was making a long time ago, and this is a creature called Mechid. So Mechid is basically like a little, like a chess piece, right? It's literally a chess piece, like I guess it's like the queen almost, and it looks freaking awesome. Like this thing is adorable, and I cannot wait to see this like actually within the game, like walking around and doing its thing. Like it's gonna be freaking awesome. I can't wait. So you've got that, and you also have the NPC concepts, which I think look great. We actually see these characters within the trailer. The female character above me here, she actually walks around. The guy on the farthest left, he's actually selling stuff at like a food stand in the trailer. Overall, looks great. Next up we have Skullkin, which you actually see in the trailer, which are these kind of like weird, like ghostly, you know, creatures that like roam around and like kind of like float around and do their little thing. You actually see them like, you know, roaming around and just kind of like being weird and that sort of stuff in the background. In the trailer, as the characters like running past them to avoid, I guess, battling them or getting in trouble with them. So you can see that, and I do love this concept. Kind of shows you off kind of like how it works. Like it's got like one arm, which is essentially a scythe, and the other one's holding some sort of orb, which I guess it uses the one eye, the red eye, to like, you know, like seek into and just like look into. Next up we have, I think, a newer creature around, which I'm not sure if they officially revealed, but it's this one actually I think is based on Sly Cooper because his name is Slifer. So or like I guess on Sly Cooper or like Scyther from like, you know, like Dora or something like that, you know what I mean, like Dora, but like, yeah, overall, again, cool concept. There is actually a part like this one right here. I love this. Like you can see, like it's stolen a bunch of stuff and now it's like all happy and whatnot, so I do like that as well. It's a cool concept again. Next up we have the stag, right? This to me looks epic. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Xerneas and that sort of stuff, but like kind of cooler, or like Statler from Pokemon kind of reminds me of that, but just kind of cooler in my opinion, I'm gonna be honest. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is it in terms of the concept. I think we've gone through a majority of it. So ladies and gentlemen, we've gone through the concept. Now let's talk about some of the exclusive information about this game. Let's talk about that, shall we? So ladies and gentlemen, some of the interesting and very like intriguing information that I've been given, some of the exclusive info here is really interesting. So here is basically what we have, guys. It's going to be a feature in the game that's going to be called New Game Plus. Now, once you beat the game's main story, you'll have the opportunity to start a New Game Plus. You'll lose all your mission progress and restart the story at an early point, but get to keep all your kinfolk. The difficulty will be harder, and you have a higher chance of encountering rare kinfolk. Beating the main story again during the New Game Plus allows you to select it again, enabling you to continue stacking the effect after each playthrough. This actually is really cool because it adds a lot more replayability to the game and gives you a reason to want to play through again, because you'll essentially just keep getting stronger and stronger creatures earlier and earlier on. So honestly, a pretty cool concept. Next up is also player homes, which is player housing. At the start of the game, you'll be given a home to live in. You can customize things like furniture, the layout, and even build expansions. Some expansions act like upgrades for your home, allowing you to do things like plant a garden, craft items, or upgrade key items. Your home is also the place you return to if you're defeated in combat. As you play through the game, you'll find other homes for sale in various towns across the region. So basically, player housing is going to be in the game, which I'm a big fan of, because that kind of reminds me of like, you know, like secret bases in Pokemon, which I'm a big fan of, ladies and gentlemen. I love that sort of stuff. So yeah, big fan of that. Now next up is making camp. Now your camp acts as a checkpoint that you can place anywhere in the wild as long as you're not in combat. If you're defeated in your battle, you return to your camp instead of your home, making it much easier to go back to where you were when you lost. Aside from being a checkpoint for you to return to, it's also a place where you can get to know your kinfolk better. You can place dice games, cook food, blow off some steam on a training dummy, or just talk with them. So basically a better version of the camping system that exists within Pokemon Sword and Shield, which makes me like super excited because I would love to see that expanded upon, and that's what they're doing here. Now, there is the next thing here, and this is where things get a lot more interesting in my opinion in terms of like difficulty and stuff. So there's something, I mean, basically sentience, right? So not only can kinfolk talk to you, they're also sentient beings. Just like people, they have their own individual tastes and personalities. They have free will and may even decide to leave your team if you treat them badly or if they no longer trust you. Now, players who have strong bonds with their kinfolk won't have to worry about this though. So yeah, basically, you have to keep a good bond with them. And what are bonds? Well, basically, bonds are a special connection you share with each kinfolk on your team. There are many benefits to having a strong bond with your kinfolk. They fight harder in combat, can learn new moves, and even become a mount. So this is how the mounting system is going to basically work like. Now, getting to know them better by playing the games, sharing a meal, talking, or winning in combat will raise all the bonds you have with the kinfolk. Losing many times in a row will lower your bond, and so making choices that upsets them. So you might want to find kinfolk whose personalities are similar to your own. If your bond with the kinfolk falls to 0, then it is broken. Don't expect them to stick around long if this happens. However, the stronger your bond is with a kinfolk, the harder it is for the bond to be lowered or broken. So it's definitely a good idea to form strong bonds with your kinfolk, which means there's going to be far more attachments to the monsters you catch and monsters you have in your team, right? You're going to be far more attached to them. And then the next spot here, which gets me really, really intrigued, and that is death within the game. There is, like, this is to me something that's really, really intriguing. Now, in Kindred Fates, if your kinfolk falls in combat, they die. They're actually dead. Yeah, there are a few caveats to this though. Now, when they die, their soul will materialize as a small blue flame that floats in air where they died. If you walk over to it and pick it up, it'll be added to your inventory and you'll be able to revive them. Now, if they die somewhere unreachable, their soul will float to the nearest reachable location. You'll also receive a key item at the start of the game that can only be assigned to one kinfolk at a time. Then the kinfolk you select with this item will automatically return to you if they die, meaning they can always be revived. However, if you aren't able to reach kinfolk's flames before it burns out, they are gone forever. Yeah. You heard that right. They are gone. They are done for. Now, the memorial. Now, in the player's hometown, somewhere near their house, there is a place called the memorial. Whenever one of your kinfolk actually dies, their name, nickname if you had one of them, picture, bond level, date you met them, and date of their death will be immortalized here. Now, you can visit the memorial anytime to pay your respect or place a candle in their honor. Now, this to me is just one of the coolest features ever, man, because it makes you think. This is basically like a better version of nuzlocking, right? Because, it actually gives you opportunity to still, save your creature, save your kinfolk, save the monster, like, that you've, been attached to, and it actually causes you to think more, right? You think before you make choices. You don't just run headfirst in and do dumb shit. You actually think about what you're doing before you do it, which, to me, is bloody fantastic. I love this. This is an epic concept, and I'm so happy they shared this exclusive info with me because I love this. Now, the pre-alpha combat arena. Now, this is something that if their Kickstarter in January is successful, they'll be starting, sending out like keys for a test of their combat system. You'll be able to battle people online and give them feedback on how the game feels. There'll be several kinfolk for you to build a team with and multiple arenas to battle in. So I'm really excited for this, ladies and gentlemen. And if you guys want to check out their actual like Kickstarter, once it starts, I'll probably make a video about it and talk about it, and just give you guys a little bit more info about that whenever it happens. But definitely check out their website as well as their Discord and all that sort of stuff. Everything will be linked down below. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what are my thoughts on this like actual game? Like, what are my thoughts on Kindred Fates? Well, honestly, I'm really excited. This to me looks like, where I want Pokemon to go with their franchise, right? Which is this kind of like open world, kind of setting, which is with higher difficulty and far more freedom. And that's what this game is going to offer you, right? And that's what I can feel from this. I feel like I'm going to be far more open and have far more freedom to walk around, do things, explore, have fun. I mean, honestly, it looks freaking fantastic. And also, let me add another thing. This game has fantastic music so far. The music in this game is freaking epic. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm just gonna say, I'm excited for this game. I cannot wait to see it. And based on the trailer, which honestly I cannot wait to like cover, you know, future ones as well because they're gonna be epic. Like, based on the trailer, everything looks fantastic. I mean, they're a small studio, they're an indie studio, and they're putting together something honestly fantastic. So let me know in the comment section down below, ladies and gentlemen, what are your thoughts, what are your opinions about this upcoming game? Let me know. Have a great day, and bye bye.